Here.
Freeholders Zur.
Here.
Chairman Tinelli.
Here. Evidence of a quorum is present. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please read the minutes to be accepted?
April 20th, 2016 is a public session, all present. May 18th, 2016, public session, all present. May 25th, 2016, work session, Freeholders Felice and Sullivan absent. June 1st, 2016, work and public sessions, Freeholders Tinelli and Zur absent. June 15th, 2016, work and public sessions, all present. July 13th, 2016, public session, Freeholders Zur absent.
I'll make a motion on the minutes, Mr.
Thank you.
Chairman.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We'll now have the hearing of the general public with a 3-minute time limit in effect in accordance with the Bergen County Freeholders Bylaw, Section 1, page 6, item 2:1-8, adopted January 6, 2016. The board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the timekeeper will announce that the time has expired. Please fill out the slip of paper with your name, address, and general topic if you wish to speak. Mr. Powers?
Good evening, Freeholders. I'm really going to ask tonight that you plan at some early point to help the populace of this county, and maybe for the benefit of all the communities, so many communities therein, how the process of investment and this relationship to bond actually works. Without any question, there's now bipartisan support for investing in infrastructure in this country. But the process by which you do it, as exampled by the questions that are being asked as a result of the article that Todd South wrote on Saturday about the $20 million addition to the $147 million in capital expenditures for the Justice Center, and how that happened, and how it is that when you start a new bond process, the relationship between what you heard this afternoon from your treasurer about the capital improvement fund being a kind of slush fund that you can use to somehow start a project before you actually sort of know. He didn't say slush fund, of course he didn't. But it functions in most situations. It's a place where governing boards can go to sort of get money going before it's actually sort of completely understood what is actually going on within an investment project. Questions raised by Freeholder Nicola and then followed up by Freeholder Sullivan this afternoon, again raised the question about, do you really have $4 million in a situation where the Open Space Trust is likely to be used for a new boathouse on one part of the Passaic, and how that relates to all the other potential claims that Open Space Trust Fund, particularly since you're only funding it at 0.25% this year, actually involves. I've watched this same process fail within my township of Teaneck. At least, almost inadvertently, the council basically has told the populace of Teaneck that if they pass the Open Space Trust Fund for it next year, 60% of it's going to go to a project related to only getting toilets to a sportsplex that they've already spent $2.6 million of Open Space Trust Fund money already. How that happens and how it relates to the way in which investment actually occurs is something that is not the same as operational expenses, but it is how, in fact, this county, municipalities within it, and this country are going to be able to make the kinds of investments without clarity among the populace about how you're doing it, what the procedures are. And so I'm here tonight simply to call for you to have a clinic that explains what it is that goes on when you make those choices between the different sources of money and pieces of that process, which actually allow a project to go from the concept to one in which the public is actually going to be taxed. Thank you.
Thank you. Pat Sawyers?
I'm not ready, but
Sayers?
okay.
Spell your name for me?
SAYERS, and thank you for your service. There was a situation at the park. First of all, I want to say that I've been using the parks for over 40 years, 30 years of which are at the Saddlebrook Rochelle Park. I do 3.5 miles. And so I'm aware of what goes on there. And for the longest time, the aerator, there's a small aerator in the work in the lake that creates some bubbles, which is good. But there's a spray that should also have been functioning, that had not been functioning for the summer, and I believe most of the spring. Now, I don't know if anybody watched NJT. I think they did a story on Monday, because we had a major fish kill in Saddlebrook. All right, you could see them dying on Saturday, and by Sunday, it was pure kill. All right, and the question that I had, and I was speaking with some of the workers there, is how could this happen? How come that spray could not have been fixed? Ridgewood has two, but I don't think they're working now because there's a problem up there. Saddlebrook, that lake is 3 times the size of Ridgewood. We have one spray and a small aerator, and it breaks your heart to see over 300 fish dead. The smell wasn't pleasant either. So what I did was, when I was speaking to one of the supervisors there, while they were waiting for Mr. Cochran, I believe, and somebody else, I asked for his name, all right? And at first he gave it to me, so I will give him credit for that. And then as we got into this conversation, because I thought that was pure neglect. We had the tremendous heat, and we didn't have rain, so yes, that contributed to it. But why that wasn't fixed in all these months is beyond me. What I've become aware of is that certain parts are nurtured and other parts are maintained. And by maintained, I mean that they do the garbage, they do the bathrooms, and they cut the grass, and if a tree has to be cut, it's cut. But then you have others that are truly, truly nurtured, all right? And I think you get the drift here. So there's some neglect going on there. One of the pieces of information that came to me really surprised me. I always wondered why we didn't have recycling in Saddlebrook Rochelle Park. And so I was always envious of what Overpeck has and whatever. Then I find out that they have recycling bins. And are you ready for this? They don't get recycled. They get thrown in the garbage. So that's a misrepresentation. Okay, I feel that that's not truthful. If you're going to recycle, create the program and recycle. And have it. Okay.
Please wrap it up.
Okay, wrap it up.
Please.
I went to the the executive's office on Monday and had a very unpleasant experience trying to relate a problem to Mark, his third in command, I think Deputy Chief of Staff. It was very unpleasant, and I was hoping that someone from the office would get back to me because I relayed a message to either Elisa or Alexandra. But he's a very unpleasant person who totally dismissed me, told me what their story was, and my story was not to be believed. So that really outraged me, and that's why I'm here. I would love to meet with the big kahuna of the park, all right, because I do care about these parks, and that's why I'm here, all right? But I've never been to the county executive's office, and I left that office with a, wow, I can't believe that's a public servant.
Somebody will give you a number so that you can contact you after this meeting. We have the administrator here who both took some notes. Hopefully we'll be able to get you some answers.
And I thought I came to the right place. Good. Thank you so much.
You absolutely did.
So who do I give the number to?
I'm just going to give you my card. That's
All right, so one,
Ray Apolito.
How are you?
Spell your last name.
IPPOLITO.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for being here. Thank you for hearing me and some of my other So what we're here for today is I understand that we're trying to pass something here to make a difference in the lives of animals, and I would say in the lives of children. So I'm a teacher. I've been in Bergen County since '92, and I'm a teacher. And one thing that I've become very clear of in my life is the way in which we treat animals and the way we teach children. We have animals that were, you know, like most of us, we've gone to the circus before. It's a beautiful thing. It's fun to see animals, but the reality is that we never let our children see what it takes to create these circuses. Some of these animals spend 6 months of their life deprived of food, sleep, and water, held down, beaten, electrocuted, deprived of food, sleep, and water. This breaks their will in order for them to do stupid tricks to entertain our kids. And what are we teaching our kids? We're teaching our kids that this is the way that we treat animals, and it's acceptable. It's unacceptable for me. That's why I'm here today, and I'm asking you to please, let's make a historic vote today that's going to make a difference, and not only in our county, but in our state, in our country, and that will actually fall, to example, like a lot of other countries in the world. Israel, Greece, Bolivia, Mexico, Colombia, they've all banned live animal circuses. It's not necessary. It's just not. We have beautiful entertainment for our kids. We all love our dogs and cats. You would never allow your children to see what it takes to create these circuses. You would never allow them to hear these elephants and cats and everything screaming. It's horrible. It's horrible. So I'm asking you really, as a teacher and as a citizen of this county, I am deeply invested in this being responsible and on the right side of history in the way that we're entertaining our children. We have an urgent responsibility for ourselves and for our kids, and to leave a legacy of peace and compassion. Beautiful things that we offer our kids, right? I just want us to be with integrity and move that forward this way. That's all I got to say, and I hope you pass the vote. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Darlene DeSantis.
Hi, Darlene DeSantis, Palisades Park, New Jersey. I'm here tonight to voice my support for the resolution to ban the wild animal circuses in Bergen County parks. One of the things I've learned is how important it is to be a voice for animals. And even though it's a little uncomfortable for me to speak, I've learned the few minutes it's uncomfortable for me to speak, I'm speaking for animals that suffer every day. So the one thing I just want to share with you is my letter to the editor that was in Sunday's paper regarding this ban. I applaud the Bergen County Freeholders for having open minds, compassion for animals, and for taking into consideration the concerns of their constituents regarding animals used in circuses. No matter how much the circus folk try to defend their use of animals, the overwhelming documented evidence of the abuse, neglect, cruelty, and inhumane confinement circus animals are subjected to is undeniable. One only need research circus animal abuse online to find videos, pictures, and more. Animal cruelty is not entertainment, and ensuring the public's safety is paramount. Securing the passage of this ordinance would add to the ever-growing number of cities and counties in the United States that have taken a stand against this cruel and archaic industry, and it would also strengthen support for federal legislation to ban the use of animals in circuses. I look forward to the passage of this resolution tonight, and it'll be the first of its kind in New Jersey, so thank you very much.
Julie O'Connor.
Hello. Hi, I'm Julie O'Connor, the Regional Legislative Director for the League of Humane Voters in New Jersey. And I want to thank you in advance for your yes vote tonight. This experience has reinforced my faith in you as public servants for using your power to do good. And you will help put a nail in the coffin of animal abuse. In 2016, traveling exotic animal acts are antiquated because we know the cruelty behind the performance. We also know the risk to public safety of wild animal performances. So thank you for your open minds and helping us usher in a compassionate future for Bergen County. Thank you.
Thank you. Richard Derrick.
Spell your last name, please.
D-E-R-R-I-G.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you? Normally, I wouldn't come before this board for a city issue, but it does have to do with each and every one of you that run for office in the city of Garfield. They're trying to ban door-to-door campaign, which to me, yeah, I mean, here I have a copy.
Garfield.
I really don't know why they're trying to do it, unless they're very nervous they're not going to win. So I just come before you as public servants. If you could do anything that you guys can do to maybe pass the word that this isn't a great thing for our county, or our city, or our people that run for office in. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. So will the clerk please read the resolutions on the consent agenda?
Okay, on the consent agenda is 782-16 through 796-16, 798-16 through 809-16, 812-16 through 824-16, and 826 through 836-16.
Have a motion to accept the resolution.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Freeholder Di Nicola.
Yes.
Freeholder Felice is absent. Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairman Tinelli.
Yes. Are there any resolutions of non-consent hold or tabled? If so, will the clerk please read them?
One is 797-16, which is a resolution authorizing a memorandum of understanding with the YWCA to continue exercise program from July 1st, 2016 through December 31st, 2016.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recuse from this resolution.
Sure.
We'll let you back in, Mark.
May I have a motion to introduce?
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Second.
Second was...
John. Freeholder Di Nicola is abstaining, or recused herself. Freeholder Felice is absent. Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairman Tinelli.
Yes. What's it?
Okay, the next one is 810-16. It's a resolution authorizing the change order number 4, Benjamin R. Harvey Company, the new new DPW maintenance complex in Paramus, New Jersey.
May I have a motion to introduce?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Freeholder Di Nicola.
No.
Freeholder Felice is absent. Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairman Tinelli.
Yes.
The next one is 811-16, which is a resolution authorizing to amend professional services contract with RSC Architects for new agency building, parking deck, and JC Renovations, Hackensack, New Jersey.
Can I have an introduction, please?
Second.
Call the roll.
Freeholder Di Nicola.
No.
Freeholder Felice is absent. Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairman Tinelli.
Yes.
Okay, next one. Is 825-16, which is a resolution authorizing to submit a grant application to the New Jersey Office of Natural Resource Restoration for the Bergen County Rowing Center Boathouse, Passaic River.
Have an introduction, please.
So moved.
For a second.
Second.
Call the roll.
Freeholder Di Nicola.
No.
Freeholder Felice is absent. Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan?
Yes.
Freeholder Boss?
Yes.
Freeholder Zor?
Yes.
Chairman Tinelli?
Yes. Now go on to our ordinances for first reading and introduction. Will the clerk please read ordinance 16-14 by title only? Sorry.
Okay. Ordinance 16-14 is a bond ordinance providing for the replacement of a Midtown Bridge spanning the Hackensack River between the city of Hackensack and the borough of Pagoda by the county of Bergen, appropriating $750,000 thereof, including a grant in the amount of $750,000 expected to be received from the state of New Jersey Department of Transportation, and authorizing the issuance of $750,000 in bonds or notes of the county to finance the cost thereof.
Have a motion to introduce ordinance
So moved.
16-14. Please call the roll.
Freeholder DiNicola?
Yes.
Freeholder Felice is absent. Freeholder Gantz?
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan?
Yes.
Freeholder Boss?
Yes.
Freeholder Zor?
Yes.
Chairman Tinelli?
Yes.
Ordinance 1614 passes first reading.
Now go on to our 5 ordinances for second reading and adoption. Will the clerk please read ordinance 16-8 by title only?
16-8 is an ordinance that, the proof of publication of the ordinance notice of the public hearing was published in the Record and the Herald News on Sunday, July 17, 2016, and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of the hearing and ordinance number 16-08 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 48:2-17 on Friday, July 15, 2016. Following is the bond ordinance. The title is as follows: the bond ordinance amending section 3A and section 6B of bond ordinance number 15-28, finally adopted on October 14, 2015.
I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 16-08 to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We're now having a public hearing, is now open for a 5-minute time limit to speak about ordinance 16-08 only. At this time, the board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the timekeeper will announce the time has expired. Anyone wishing to speak on that ordinance? No speakers. May I have a motion to close the hearing?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Public hearing on 16-08 is closed.
Point of order, Chairman. Did not hear you ask for anybody opposed.
I'm sorry?
Did not hear you ask if anybody opposed.
Oh. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, thank you, Freeholder. Public hearing on ordinance 16-08 is closed. Is there any board discussion or comment on ordinance 16-08? Seeing none, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance 16-08?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Freeholder DiNicola?
Yes.
Freeholder Felice is absent. Freeholder Gantz?
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan?
Yes.
Freeholder Boss?
Yes.
Freeholder Zor?
Yes.
Chairman Tinelli?
Yes.
Ordinance 16-08 is adopted on second reading. 1610 was pulled during our work session. 1611 was pulled during our work session. And 1612 was pulled during our work session today.
Okay, so we're at the second reading and adoption of ordinance 16-13. Will the clerk please read the ordinance 16-13 by title only?
The proof of publication of the ordinance notice of the public hearing was published in the Record and the Herald News on Sunday, July 17th, and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of the hearing and ordinance number 16-13 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 48:2-17 on Friday, July 15th, 2016. The title is as follows: an ordinance to ban the operation of traveling shows or circuses that exhibit wild or exotic animals on county property.
We have a motion to open the hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The public hearing is now open with a 5-minute time limit to speak about ordinance 16-13 only at this time. The board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the timekeeper will announce that the time has expired. Anyone wishing to speak on ordinance 16-13? Seeing none, may I have a motion to
So
close?
moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We have to vote.
Is there any discussion or comments by the board?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Freeholder.
I just want to say thank you to the committee members out there and everyone that came and spent the time and educated us in the office. I would also like to suggest that, I think you said we're the first county in the state to do this. I would also like to suggest that we disseminate this ordinance to all the other county freeholder boards.
Nice.
I think it's the right thing to do. Thank you. And the legislators as well. Thank you, Council. Certainly, I think we need to forward that to everyone involved in any of this process. And the legislature would be great also. Maybe we can make it a statewide thing. It would be great.
Thank you.
I just want to commend all of you ladies and gentlemen for the hard work you put in. I've been with you every step of the way, and I cannot tell you how happy I am. I know this is going to pass with flying colors, and keep up the good work, because we have a lot to do to ensure the safety of our children and our animals.
I want to single out Julie Bolton O'Connor for her efforts on this. I've known her since she's 14 years old, and she is more committed today than she was then, which hardly seems possible. I want to suggest, Chairman, if I may, that this could be done not only by counties, but also by individual municipalities on parkland within each community, and that I would ask that a copy of the ordinance be sent to each of the municipal clerks in the 70 municipalities in Bergen County. Thank you.
I'd just like to say briefly, similar to what I said during the introduction and echoing the words of my colleagues as well. This has been a very orderly process where we as individual elected officials or public servants, as I like to say, learned a lot. And I think that proves that government can work for the people here. And now today we'll be adopting something into law, and we will be the first of the 21 counties here in New Jersey, and the largest of the counties in New Jersey with 70 municipalities. So hopefully that'll provide the momentum you need to continue along. Thank you.
I just want to thank you for the time you devoted to educating us, like Tom said, but I'd also like to thank the administration, the administrator, the legal team, the Parks Department, because as I kept telling you, we didn't want to pass something that wasn't 100% accurate, and we had to make sure just exactly what impact it was going to have in our park systems and our zoo, and make sure that everything was covered. So I kept telling you to be patient, and I'm very happy that we finally, after all of the effort that you guys put in, all the effort that the administration put in, that we're actually having a piece of legislation that we're all very, very proud of. So at this point, I'd like to ask for a motion to
So moved.
adopt.
Second?
Please call the
We
roll.
should probably, yes.
Okay,
Two people.
okay, who is boss? Tracy. Freeholder Di Nicola.
Yes.
Freeholder Felice is absent. Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes, and I'd also like to ask resend this to the governor too, Mr. Chairman.
Go Sullivan.
Freeholder Voss.
Absolutely, positively, hallelujah.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairman Tinelli.
Yes. Now you can vote.
Now you can go on.
Didn't know I had so many fans.
We'll now have our Freeholder Committee reports. Freeholder Sullivan.
Thank you, Chairman. The past two Sundays, I've attended two different church services with Freeholder Gans. The first was at Mount Olive Baptist Church with Reverend Jackson for the 127th anniversary. I would present the commendations to the committee and the honorees. It was a very special day, and I did say on record that I did not believe that the Reverend Jackson was there for all 127 years. He agreed. He said it felt like that. So. And And last Sunday, we also, myself and the Freeholder Gangs, attended the 96th anniversary for the New Hope Baptist Church. The pastor, Reverend Francis Fontaine, is retiring after 23 years of leading her congregation, and I look forward to attending more of these services in the future. Last Wednesday, myself with Freeholder Zora and Dina Kohler attended the swearing-in ceremony for the Village of Ridgewood's new police chief, Jacqueline Lupke. She is the second female police chief to serve in Bergen County history, after Chief Matalone, who happens to be the chief in Bergenfield, in my hometown. And I said this almost identical thing at that service that I said at the swearing of Chief Matalone. Being a father of 3 daughters, it really makes me proud to go home and tell my daughters there's nothing we can't do. And it was a wonderful, wonderful thing. It makes me proud to be a father, it makes me proud to be on the right side of women's rights, and we're making a difference, and I'm glad to see that. I wish the chief the best of luck in her endeavors. Also, this past Sunday, the Columbia Independence Day Festival was held at Overpeck Park, our county park. A beautiful event, a beautiful festival. Despite nearly 100-degree weather, many of the residents of Columbia descent made their way to the festival to celebrate. We presented proclamations on behalf of the county executive to the festival's organizers. Colombian American and Colombians are always welcome in Bergen County. And we look forward to more members of the community as we continue to serve it, as I continue to serve as a freeholder. It was very special looking out in the audience and realizing what a diverse county we are, and how it just re-emphasizes the message that we need to respect everybody and everybody's culture. We all may have different cultures, but this is America, and we need to come together. And I say it again, like I said, we don't need to build walls, we need to tear them down. And that's the only way our country's going to stay great, and I hope that an event like this brings people together. It was wonderful to see, so I want to say thank you to to the people who organized that event. And last, Chairman, next Tuesday, August 2nd, is National Night Out. National Night Out brings community leaders, residents, borough police departments together to get to know one another and enhance relationships between police officers and their communities. I'm sure that many up here, we plan to attend. Listen, when everything's going on, this is something that is a step in the right direction. We need, again, getting back to what I just said 2 minutes ago, we need to understand each other, we need to get along with each other, and we need to know how to respect each other. We need to come together and listen. Hopefully it happens in my lifetime. I believe we can do it. But programs like this and educations like this are only a positive moving forward. So hopefully there'll be a lot of people attending, and I'll be proud to be part of it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder, you need a call?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And following up with what Freeholder Sullivan said, it's been a really, really busy summer. We've been running around to different events, festivals, barbecues, concerts in the parks in all of our municipalities, all over the county, and it's really a wonderful opportunity to connect with people. Most of the time, you need a pad and paper because someone always has something they would like you to follow up on, but it's been a great experience. At the end of our last Freeholder meeting, Freeholder Sullivan and Chairman Tonelli and myself ran over to Mount Olive Baptist Church for the very special prayer service that they had that evening. It was called the Time of Prayer and Reflection for a Nation on the Edge, following the shooting of the police officers in Texas. And there were many, many guests, leaders of other faiths, legislators, community leaders there, and everyone spoke about unity. It was really a very positive coming together because we're all in this together, and truly everybody came away with the sense that we can get through this. Just not the words, but the action of being together is so meaningful, and yet we don't do it enough. And sometimes that being together is being at a meeting, like all of you here today, being together in schools, on the sidewalk, at the grocery store, saying hello and acknowledging one another. And I truly feel that, that experience and the others that happened following that in towns where there were smaller meetings that some of us attended will make a difference for us here in Bergen County. I wanted to mention too that I went to Carlstadt. Carlstadt's one of the towns I've been lobbying for Access for All, and we were going to do a presentation there. Unfortunately, there was a tragic family shooting there, and they felt it best to first introduce Stigma Free, which is another county-wide initiative. Stigma Free is all about mental illness and removing the stigma. It's something that all of our families face, and 1 in 4 children face today. And we need to accept that there's something we can do as a community. If your neighbor has a heart attack, everybody comes together. You make meals, you'll babysit, you'll watch the children. But if your neighbor is hospitalized because of depression, you don't necessarily know what to do or if you should approach them and do something. And Stigma Free helps by creating a climate of openness, of acceptance, and of helping those in the community who do have a mental illness feel comfortable in seeking whatever treatment they need, but also in elevating the understanding of everybody else, and hopefully preventing anything from escalating, although that was an extraordinary event that happened there. But we need to prevent anything like that from happening again. As a member of the Veteran Services Committee in the county, I wanted to mention something that happened today. There was a press conference in honor of the 63rd anniversary of the armistice being signed that ended the Korean War. In Bergen County, we have 37,000 veterans, and the Motor Vehicle Commission today once again went out to promote the fact that they now have a permanent insignia on New Jersey driver's licenses denoting the fact that you're a veteran. This is the only ID that you need to get veteran services or discounts moving forward. It's fairly easy, although I hesitate to say anything at DMV is fairly easy, but it's fairly easy to attain. If you are a veteran, you need to go to motor vehicles with your license, with your 6 points of identification, and with your discharge papers, your DD 214 or 215, and they will give you a brand new license. If you're not a driver, they will issue an ID that you can use that designates the fact that you are a veteran. And it's one of the initiatives that the state is making. We are really trying here in Bergen County, but also in New Jersey, to do the most we can for our veterans. And I just want to say personally, my oldest son just finished his 11th year serving this country in the Navy. Hard to believe. And he continues on. For everyone who serves, these are such great young people. They give so much. We can only do what we can for them following their service. And that's my committee report, Mr. Chairman.
Further boss?
Thank you, Chairman. First of all, I once again have to say how happy I am that we finally got this ordinance passed, and all of us up here are animal lovers, and I'm so happy, so enough said about that. July 25th marks the 25th anniversary of the National Literacy Act. Millions of adults have learned to read, write, speak English, and have earned their high school equivalency credentials since this act was passed in 1991. I printed the act up, and it's quite extensive. And I want to tell you, because I'll be talking about this a great deal in the future, we have a problem in this country with illiteracy. We're a country of about 330 million people, and almost, I would say, 40 million people are functional, illiterate, or totally illiterate. And so here in Bergen County, I'm working with a group called Project Literacy, and I'm going to be talking about it a great deal because in Bergen County we have over 100,000 people who fall into this category, and we have services in Bergen Community College through Project Literacy where people can go for nothing. All of the people who are teachers are volunteers, And you can go in there and you can learn to enhance your skills. And this is so, so very important, because just recently I was on a committee called the Workforce Development Literacy Roundtable. And people from the community who have businesses, as well as people who are educators, come together and say, what can we do to improve the literacy rates? Because people can't get good jobs if they can't read well, okay? And so this is an essential thing. So we could get some, make some strides in that area. Project Literacy also has like a graduation ceremony, and to go there, it's heartwarming to see all of the people in the project are adults, both the teachers and the students. And so if you didn't get what you needed when you were in high school, you can certainly get it after you age out of the high school. And so if you're thinking of that, or if you know anyone who needs to enhance their skills, it's right here in Hackensack, right down at Bergen Community College on Main Street. And as I said, it's free. And I've brought several people there that needed to enhance their skills. I also want to talk a little bit about our veterans. There is a new nonprofit called Driven by Heroes. If you go on your computer and you Google it, you will see, again, volunteers who are there to help the veterans. We have enhanced our veteran services here in the county, and I know that they're in contact with Driven by Heroes. And what they do is to take veterans who need to go to the VA hospital or to doctor's appointments in general, and free of charge, they will be driven there and brought home. And this is an essential service. And so I know that my Rotary Club recently kind of adopted Driven by Heroes, and we gave them a substantial amount of money to enhance their work because, as I said, they're volunteers. Freeholder Dina Cola said almost every community is having nights where they show movies and have concerts. Get out, meet the people in your community, because we're all here to help each other, or we should be all here to help each other, and this is a good way to meet your neighbors. We've had quite a few flag raisings, and again, Bergen County is marvelous in terms of its diversity, and we try to call attention to all contributions that people make. One of the things that's really interesting is, I guess once a teacher, always a teacher. I go to organizations like homeowners associations because people don't know the services the county has, and they certainly don't know what a freeholder is. And so I go first to give them a little overview of what the county does, and then to answer questions. And I really, really want people to ask questions and not to be afraid to, because they have no concept of what a freeholder is or county services. And we have a tremendous amount of services here. And before I get into literacy again, I want to wish my freeholder colleague, David Gantz, a very happy birthday tomorrow. He's finally in his And as I said, I'm once again so happy about our ordinance being passed this evening. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder Gantz.
Thank you for the allowing me to just make some general comments. I'll be 65 tomorrow. I feel 10 years younger. And that means that I get to talk a little bit about Bergen wellness, which is a topic that I've not spoken about in a while. Bergen wellness is a card that you can get free of charge. You can use it for yourself, you can use it for your pets, and you can even use it for exotic animals, as long as there's a human equivalent drug. So if you need amoxicillin for your cat, you can get tuna-flavored amoxicillin at a 30% discount using the Bergen Wellness Card. If you have a need for a hearing aid, you can't get it with ordinary insurance. You have to, if you're fortunate enough to be a veteran and can get on the list, you can get it at a very substantial discount. But most veterans, including my dad, who flew 26 missions during the Second World War and had flak in his ear to the day he died, to prove it, was unable to get a hearing aid. But with the Bergen Wellness Program, you can get it at 50% off. Freeholder McPherson took her mom, who lives in Philadelphia, out to get a hearing aid. Mom was willing to spend about $3,000. And Bernadette said, you know, I've been carrying this Bergen wellness card. Let's see. It really is what Gans says and can be used anywhere. Turns out that she was able to get the $2,900 hearing aid for $900. That's $2,000 in savings just by having the Bergen wellness card. You can get it online at this address, which Frank Fuchs is going to insert right here, or you can get it from any freeholder or at any of the public libraries here in Bergen County. A word about public libraries. We passed this evening appropriation buckles, which is the first shared services program of universal application. 9 million transactions in the last year using books, so that if you have a book that is in the Fairlawn Public Library, but somebody in Englewood wants it, it goes across the county in just 2 days, and it's a great program. As an author, it's not good, because the number of books that have to be purchased are seriously diminished for royalties. But what's great for consumers is every municipality has a library, and what this does is it lowers the amount of books that they have to acquire. Because truthfully, I've written 40 books, one of which is The World of Coins and Coin Collecting. It's a great book about coins if you're interested in it, but you don't need to have 40 of them in the 70-odd, public 78 libraries that carry books. You can make do with 4 or 5 and ship it around as you need it, and this is true of the entire load that's there. And it's just a great program which we fought very hard for, and which the prior administration cut back substantially on that program. I want to just make 2 other comments. I did not go over to Mount Olive last Wednesday because I had to be up at 4:30 in the morning the following day in order to host a breakfast of 19 community ministers in this long scheduled program, where I thought it was useful for them to meet with our constitutional officers, the county executive, and some interested individuals. And the purpose of it was to do what happened when I first ran for office countywide 15 years ago, and that was to give a group of citizens who genuinely believe that government is not responsive to them the opportunity to show that government is responsive and cares. Finally, my good friend, Pastor M. Francis Manning, is just about retired from New Hope Baptist. She will preach her last sermon on Sunday. I intend to be there for it. And there were a number of people that were at the ceremonies that took place over the weekend, together with a lovely luncheon under a tent, which thoughtfully kept in the heat. It was only 110 degrees with fans. It was hot. I will tell you that it's always sad to see a great preacher retire, but Dr. Manning deserves it, and her colleagues will surely miss her, as will I personally. I think that concludes my talk. I'm not keeping to the 5-minute rule tonight, Chairman, but thank you for your indulgence.
But it's his birthday.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Zurich?
Thank you, Chairman. The Pastors Roundtable that Freeholder Gant just spoke of was a wonderful, wonderful dialogue, especially at this time. Those are steps that are so important, and Freeholder Gant, thank you for bringing it all together. It was informative for all of us and opened some some very important lines of continue to open some important lines of communication. We also had this tremendous, another great dialogue, which was the student family meet and greet with Project Search. Project Search, everyone up here knows because I speak about it ad nauseum, but it is a program for young adults with disabilities that is a partnership with our Workforce Development Board, the Department for Vocational Rehabilitation, the Department of Developmental Disabilities, and two businesses, Holy Name Hospital and Hackensack Hospital, who are going to be teaching these young adults portable job skills. They have a placement rate of 73%, which when we have this average rate in the state of 37%, turning that statistic on its head is going to be so invaluable for individuals with disabilities and giving them real meaningful employment. We are the pilot in the state of New Jersey for this program. We are getting it off the ground, and the families and the young people who are going to be engaging in it, we're so excited at this meet and greet, as were the hospital administrators, the staff, the job coaches, the teachers. We are really looking forward to the successful launch of this program in September. We go through this agenda so quickly, and I want, because we go through it in our work session, I just want to draw attention to two of the things that we passed this evening. One, there were acceptances of grants. One was the acceptance of grants for inter-support grant that talks about the transportation, that talks about communication among transportation entities. And it really is going to focus on cooperation, comprehension, and continuation of planning, which is something that we in Bergen County, as we're trying to figure out not just how to get out of Bergen County, but how to get around this county, is so invaluable. So that grant and acceptance of that grant this evening is something that's really important. The other thing that, as the Chair of Law and Public Safety, that is another vital grant that we accepted this evening, was the Right to Know program, which informs our health officers, our first responders, our fire and police, and make sure that they're aware of the identity, character, and quantity of hazardous substances that are used and stored within the county. So by accepting this grant, it enables us to better equip all of our first responders. So I just want to continue to applaud the administration in pursuing these grants and making sure that we are being able to respond in the way that we need to, when, God forbid, when there's emergencies. So, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
Thank you, Freeman. So in an effort not to repeat, we say the same thing every month. We each attend a lot of the same similar events, so I'm not going to repeat what my colleagues have already mentioned. But I do want to remind everybody we've already had two of them as our terrific Thursday summer concerts at Overpeck County Park. The first two have been spectacular. A lot of people. It poured on the first one, and 4 o'clock the sun came out and the crowd started to appear. So we have two more. I just want to remind everybody that July 28th, this Thursday, and August 4th are the remaining two. I invite everyone to come out. Overpeck's a beautiful park to sit. There's a natural breeze, and the crowds are just getting larger and larger, so I'd just like to invite everybody to come out. That concludes my report. So without anything coming further before this board tonight, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Whatever.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We are adjourned.